Hey everybody, Steve Prziborowski here. Welcome to episode 81 of Reach for the Firefighter Badge. Episode 81, we're going to discuss more about things you can do or someone you know can do who is still in high school to help set you up for a career of your dreams. It's an awesome career if you can get in, but not everyone can. And a lot of things you can be doing now if you're still in high school to set yourself up for success. So let's go with part 5. As always, my 2 websites have a lot of great free information on there for anyone across the country to be the best they can be, not just in the pursuit of the badge, but obviously once they get on the job. 2 of my entry-level preparation books have a lot of great information within to help you be the best candidate you can be. Please check out more on my website if you're interested. All right, as I stress every time, it's never too early to start preparing to become a firefighter. If you're still in high school or know of someone that's still in high school who may be interested in getting into the fire service, here's some more tips for success. So in the previous episodes, 77, 78, 79, 80, we discussed general things related to education and experience, things that a future firefighter should consider while still in high school to ensure they set themselves up for success. Now, let's say you're not in high school. Let's say you're maybe fresh out of high school, 18, 19, 20 years old. Doesn't mean that you can't do these things either. I mean, you're not going to go back to high school, but these are good suggestions that you could be doing. The majority of them, obviously. So let's get on with more info. Some more general suggestions. And a lot of these things I bring up because of your background investigation process. When you get to the background investigation phase, they're going to be evaluating, as I mentioned in the previous episode, your DMV history, your criminal history, your personal history, your internet history, social media footprints history as well. They're also going to do a credit check on you and look at your financial records. So make sure you try to have pretty much a clean, free of poor decision-making financial history. Now, if you're still in high school, you probably have no issue with that, but I've seen and heard of some stories where kids in high school have credit cards and they're already up to their ears in credit card debt. I mean, there's no reason, don't live above your means. I know it's easier said than done, but try to start having a good solid track record now. Something else to consider. When I was growing up, tattoos were not that common. Very few people had tattoos. Usually if someone had a tattoo, it's because they were, ex-military. Now, tattoos are probably more mainstream than people that don't have tattoos. Doesn't matter to me if you have a tattoo or not, but my suggestion to you is if you're thinking of getting a tattoo, there's nothing wrong with getting a tattoo because you can go to any firehouse around the country and probably see at least one person, if not more, if not all of them, with tattoos. No different from law enforcement, heck, no different from almost any line of work in today's world. Again, that's personal preference. But just some things to think about. If you've already got it, hey, it is what it is. But consider the placement and the message. Because it's more expensive to remove if you ever have to. My department used to have a no tattoo policy. When I say no tattoo, no tattoos visible pretty much during, with shorts on and a t-shirt on. We've since laxed that a little bit just to be more modern, but we still have certain restrictions. And you may think, well, they're never going to know I have a tattoo because I'll have a suit on in the oral interview. I'll have a suit on. I'll have a long sleeve shirt. They'll never know it. They will know it because of 2 reasons. When you do your background investigation, a question they'll ask you is, do you have any tattoos, scars, or anything else? And when you get to your medical evaluation, same thing. The doctor is going to note any scars, tattoos, or anything else. You can't hide it. But my consideration is, if you're thinking of getting one, ideally try to get it above the t-shirt line right here. And if you're thinking of getting on the legs, maybe above where the shorts would be. So pretty much the body here is fair game because typically a firefighter on duty, even if they're working out, is not going to be shirtless or naked. I mean, so usually in places you can't see. Now, some departments, I think it's Los Angeles City Fire Departments, you can have tattoos in the arms, but you can't show your arms on shift, meaning if it's a 100-degree day outside, you've got to wear a long sleeve uniform shirt, which is wool and hotter than the hinges of hell. But that's their feeling is that's your choice to get a tattoo. So do your homework and research. Usually if a department has a policy, knowing it's a very polarizing and current issue, they'll usually post it on their job announcement that candidates must not have visible tattoos when wearing a t-shirt or shorts or sweatpants or something like that. Doesn't mean you can't get hired because many departments honestly don't care. But when I talk about the message on it, a lot of times the background investigators are looking for gang-related tattoos. They're just looking for, totally inappropriate for the year 2020. And even if you're watching this in 2021 or beyond, same thing. something like a swastika, because that could be looked at as an extremist group, so it's not just gang activity, but it's extremist groups. Maybe something that's considered racist, sexist, harassing or harassment, or just totally inappropriate or illegal. So, I've heard of a lot of different tattoos out there, and it's like, oh, when did you get, oh, were you drunk when you got that tattoo? Or I know that tattoo sounded great at 17 years old or 15 with or without alcohol, but maybe at 35 years old, maybe not the best to have. And again, nothing against tattoos, just maybe consider the placement. I mean, usually, like I said, body fair game, but even if let's say you choose, well, I have a tattoo, it's my right to, display a tattoo on my body. It is your right. Well, it's my right to have a swastika. Well, again, you can have anything you want, but you're going to probably put yourself in a very precarious position, because now it's going to open up a lot of questions of, wait a second, at some point you may have to remove your shirt during the day, not on purpose, but by accident. And what if someone sees that, now you're considered a white supremacist, and it's a can of worms that a department is probably not going to take a chance on you for. So here's something to think about. When our tattoo policy used to be more stringent, I remember hearing the story of one candidate that wanted to work for our department so bad that, I don't know how much a tattoo costs. I mean, assuming it's a couple $100, if not more. But he wanted to get hired so bad that he actually had a tattoo, I think it was on his arm, removed. So the guy paid for the tattoo whatever years ago, and then he paid to get it put on him, and then he paid to get it removed. That dude wanted the job bad. And you know what? Of course he got the job, but that was the condition, is that, well, we'll give you a job as long as you, basically erase the tattoo. And from what I hear, and it looks like getting one seems painful. Hell, getting it removed is probably twice as painful. So again, nothing against them. Just think about these things and how it's going to matter. And again, every department has different standards and norms. And before you say, well, it's discriminatory, they can't have a policy on tattoos. Yeah, they can. It's been proven time and time again, departments can have policies. So instead of trying to change the process, which you'll probably not be able to do, try to at least conform. And if you do have a lot of tattoos and some departments don't want you, don't take it personal. There's plenty of other departments out there that will want you. You just got to go find them. They're not going to come to you. It's usually how it works, tattoos or other issues, not issues, other things that you may have in your background. So tattoos, nothing wrong with it. Go for it. But again, consider the placement and message if you are going to get one. Some other suggestions: don't smoke or use tobacco. One of the reasons why is that many states like California have great laws that our firefighters unions have lobbied hard for. So we have a lot of laws to protect the employee. So like a cancer presumption law. So one of the laws that we have on the books is that if you're a firefighter and you get cancer, it's usually covered by workers' compensation, meaning all the medical bills, all the treatments, which are not cheap. Well, it's not automatic. You still have to usually prove that it happened on duty. And a lot of departments will actually make you sign a requirement or a waiver that says you will not smoke or use tobacco while employed by our department, period. And again, you may say, well, I can't, well, it's just cigars, they're not tobacco. Well, you know what, same thing. I know you see firefighters sometimes, you look on social media, firefighters with cigars, but it's tobacco. And again, some departments may have those policies. And if nothing else, if you do get cancer, God forbid, you may have to prove that it was job related. Otherwise, you're not going to get covered by it. So if you're posting pictures on social media of you smoking down your stogies with your buddies, thinking you're looking cool, great. But now if you get a cancer claim, there's a good example of how your claim gets denied. And now you're on the hook. And that's a lot of money out of pocket if you've ever talked to someone that has had to do that stuff, and it's not fun. So another suggestion, don't drink alcohol. Now remember, I'm older than 21. I'm talking about those of you that are still in high school or before. Since alcohol, I think 21 years old across the country is the minimum age. That's why I suggest don't drink alcohol, because number one, it's got to be at least 21. So even if you are over 21 watching this, again, there's nothing wrong with drinking alcohol as long as it's in moderation. You can keep yourself under control. Some people are bad drunks. Some people should not even touch any alcohol because of what it does to their body. And some are also quiet and passive drunks. But now when we talk about background investigations again, these are questions the background investigator is going to ask. How much do you smoke? Do you smoke? What type of smoke? And not just cigarettes or tobacco, it's also marijuana, drugs. Well, marijuana is illegal. Yeah, in many states it is legal, but that doesn't mean you can smoke it while on the fire department or the police department or whatever. we can still say no. Now, alcohol, that's another question that gets brought up on background investigations is how much do you drink? And of course, most answers, well, people over 21, 2 beers a day. Yeah, right. These are questions they're also going to ask your family members and friends. So whatever you put down in your background investigation, you better make sure your friends and family say pretty close to the same ballpark. Don't use drugs, even if they're legal. Like I mentioned about marijuana, it may be legal in a lot of places, but the problem is for a governmental agency, here's the thing. Let's say, well, I got a medical problem, so I got a green card that allows me to smoke weed or edible weed or whatever. Well, it's still tobacco. You can still be buzzed. And also, knowing that as firefighters, we're already more predisposed to cancer than the average person, that's one of the reasons why you may have to sign a no smoke, no tobacco agreement, because again, if you get benefits such as cancer presumptive laws that are going to go in your favor, you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot by denying your family the benefit. Save your money. You're going to need it for the process. And when I say that is that when you test for a department, you're going to have to usually find a way to get there. Whether you drive your own vehicle, there's maintenance costs, fuel costs. You do ride share, there's costs there. You drive with a buddy, you better be chipping in for gas or wear and tear, you know, and you're going to have to make multiple trips. And the fire department that's in your hometown, they may only test once every 3, 4, or 5 years. So you may have to be driving an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours in every direction just to be able to find departments that test, which may require motel rooms. It may require meals, obviously, other things. So save your money. You're going to need it for the process. You may have to also buy equipment. When you get to the college and go to EMT school or Firefighter One Academy, you may have to pay for certain, you know, PPE, maybe t-shirts, maybe Ben Davis pants, Stickies pants, maybe safety boots, other little things. So make sure you save your money. You're going to need it. You got plenty of time to make money once you get hired. Some other suggestions: don't hang out with the wrong crowd. I've touched on this already, but I want to repeat it again because I see people that go through the background process, and then sometimes it comes out in the background process of who they hang out with. And again, if you're hanging out with known felons or gang members, that could be used against you. When you're trying to convince the fire chief or the background investigator, no, I just hang out with them. They're my buddies since elementary school. I don't do the stuff they do. You know, I'm the good one of the bunch. That's hard to believe that. Nothing personal. It may be true, but hard to believe. But choose your friends wisely. Basically, try not to do stupid things that maybe feel great at the moment or fun to do today that you're going to regret in the future. I mean, we all have regrets. I know you shouldn't regret things, but nothing worse than screwing yourself out of a career or delaying the start of a career because of things you chose to do that were cool and fun for the moment. Because that just, yeah, you know what I mean, I'm hoping. If only we had a crystal ball to look in the future. So we don't. So until then, have fun, enjoy your high school years. But if you really look at those that are successful in life, they've usually taken the time to plan and prepare their future. It's your life. You can't blame others if you're unable to obtain your dreams. So you know what? Take your career, take that bull by the horns, and do what you got to do to be successful. If you're already working for a fire department and you're responsible for recruiting for your future firefighters, as all of us should be, very few departments have actual recruiters. That's all they do. Every firefighter on the job is a recruiter, meaning all of us have an obligation to recruit people to apply that we think would be great firefighters. So hopefully these are things that you can share with others that you mentor and advise. So as always, thank you very much for the gift of your time. Feel free to reach out if I can ever be of assistance. And until the next episode, be safe, take care, and be well. All right. Have a good one, everybody.